Welcome to Dear Friends
and Dead Ends Podcast.
My name is Ashley.
My name is Cody.
Cases may contain graphic material as well as explicit language. Intro music, Welcome to the Hell Zone by Spooky Black Vague 003 Remix.
Excellent.
Let me get rid of this background.
Oh, but Cupcake's so cute.
She is. I have no idea how I did this.
All right, well, while you're doing that, I'm just going to rant because I need to rant about this on the podcast because I have been super angry for the last couple weeks because I have to follow a dairy-free lifestyle now, and I've never listened to it, and suddenly I have to listen to it because my body is giving me not much choice. So if anyone out there knows what I'm going through, has chosen a vegan lifestyle for whatever reason, whether it's because you have to or if it's by choice, please DM me because I have been super angry about it. And everyone in my life is sitting there eating stuff with cheese, and I've just been super mad. So that's my little rant and self-pity for the week. But did you get it all set up?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. I'll go over a couple things. So we have, I think, 9 of 15, which is our new goal. We're about to have 10 reviews per some insight someone gave us. Apparently, it's going to be a spicy review. So whatever the fuck that means, I guess we'll find out. But we'll see.
Yeah, probably be pretty suspect.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird. So if you're enjoying our podcast, please go ahead, rate.
Check that thigh.
Oh, fuck me. Stop. So rate, review us on Apple Podcasts, even if you don't listen to us on Apple Podcasts, just because it does help a lot with getting more people to see us, letting us get out there. But either way, just listening to us is more than enough. We really do appreciate anyone that listens, whether it's for the first time right now or if, you've listened to us the whole time. But yeah.
Better be listening to us the whole time.
I mean, we probably shouldn't threaten them. It's probably not a good plan.
I fucking will.
Great. So I also want to touch on a couple of things. Oh, I did want to tell you about my idea. So if I ever have a sonar type of machine, a satellite, anything like that I ever own for any reason,
okay,
I am naming it Dennis Radar.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
I came up with that the other day, and I was like, yes, if I ever need any of that in my future, it's going to be named Dennis Radar. If anyone doesn't know who that is, it is the BTK killer who is actually Dennis Rader. But it was just a good pun. I liked it. Oh, tell me about the Etsy store.
Oh, yeah. So I have no idea where. Oh, my phone's in my pocket. That makes sense. I found this Etsy store earlier. Actually, I got it through a Facebook ad, which, that makes sense because it's pretty targeted. But it's this Etsy shop that sells for the most part, it looks like they sell just, sick. So they sell a bunch of true crime memorabilia. So you can actually you can buy an OJ signature, and you can get dirt from BTK's house, and they had Marilyn Manson's hair, Charles Manson, not Marilyn Manson.
Did you say Marilyn Manson?
I sure did. Charles Manson's hair. They apparently have Eileen Wuornos's last rites robe. They have you ever heard of, I think it was called Narco Satanica. It was a cult in Mexico.
Don't know if I've heard of that specific one, no.
It's super fucked up.
We're going to do an episode on it.
Yeah, probably. But they have signed pictures of one of the girls that was in that cult, because so basically everyone, like almost everyone in this cult, got away with it because they were like, oh well, we were like brainwashed and all this shit. So they have signatures of her on there. Just a lot of really fucked up like stuff, and I kind of want to buy dirt from Ed Gein's house.
This is the problem, though.
$30.
This is the problem. We have like tissues that John Wayne Gacy like wiped his ass with or some shit, and someone's gonna buy it instead of like, oh hey, this is something from the victim. It goes to like a good cause.
I mean, I guess I should look to see like if this is just someone's shop or if they're like, hey, we're gearing up for our big killing spree.
Like, does this go to, you know, a good cause? Is this just someone selling a bunch of fucked up shit? Because I know we
it seems like it's just people selling fucked up shit.
Okay. Because I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of glorification of serial killers, and they can be fascinating. I know we like looking into their cases and their weird behavior. It's just one of
yeah. I'm not telling you to like run out and spend your money on it.
No.
Personally, I might.
Yeah.
Yeah, $65 for Charles Manson's hair.
No.
What do you mean, what? No.
No.
That'd just be a cool thing to own.
No.
Yeah, it would.
I'm gonna disagree with you.
Oh, what's that guy's name? Haddon Clark. He was a cannibal actually in Maryland.
Oh my God.
They have some of his hair on there. $15. That's a steal. That's a hometown boy.
I mean, like, hold me back. Hold me back, man. I mean, I'm gonna be right up on that site.
Yeah, I mean, it's not okay, but
clearly it is okay because you're gonna buy it. Maybe.
No, I'm still I'm well aware that it's not okay. It doesn't mean I don't want to own it.
Yeah. Oh God, I can't. So, so I also want to address for anyone that tried to tune in with us on Thursday for Twitch. We tried our best. We legit tested that shit ahead of time, and it was coming up.
It was fine until we were live.
Yeah, and then we legit go live. Like we had a countdown clock. It had this super cool picture that I made that had our podcast name and like, you know, cool graphics that I designed of our cats, and it just didn't fucking work. So
yeah, I don't even know if like was the audio even going through, or it was just nothing?
Going through, but it was spotty, which was the problem. So what my husband said was that my network card is probably old.
Mm-hmm.
My laptop is from like 2014, so maybe it just can't handle that type of thing. So I'm probably getting a new laptop with the stimulus check. Thanks, guys.
Is there a way to hardwire it? Like, do you have an Ethernet cable?
Dana was also talking about that. He was saying maybe I could do that as well. If I can do that and I don't need a new laptop, I would love to put that money in savings instead. So
yeah, no, look at that first. You can get a long ass Ethernet cable for like $10 and see if that fixes it first.
Fine. This works fine otherwise.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're gonna definitely do it again this coming Thursday.
In all fairness,
yeah.
I got way too drunk anyway.
It was probably best. It was probably best. He started insulting one of our coworkers.
I was just berating people that I think were on chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
baby steps.
Kind of sorry you missed it. Kind of glad that you missed it. We're gonna do better next week, or this week rather. So
let's hope so.
Thanks for listening. We appreciate it because we're both nut jobs, two idiots with a podcast. I don't know if I have anything else other than thanking everyone and just please rate, review us. Tell your weird friends about us. We like weirdos. especially.
Tell your religious parents about us.
No, don't.
Like, no, you should. If you guys are having a nice, like, just pleasant Sunday evening meal, just be like, hey, did you ever want to hear about this one guy who crawled through a bush and ended up dying with his dick out?
Jesus Christ.
I think that was what, episode 2 I did that?
Oh, I don't think that was 2. I think that was like, I think that was episode 3 or 4. That was the same one that I did, the Donna Rishby.
Yeah.
Maybe that was.
I've got the memory of a goldfish. I can't even remember what that guy's name was.
I'm gonna go with 3, probably 3.
Yeah, okay.
Either way, we really appreciate all of the love. I do have Ted Bundy's. Once again, they're actually really, really good. People keep getting better at them, so we'll probably do that as like a palate refresher, palate cleanser between the cases. And depending on how long mine is, it's kind of a shorter case, so I may have a second one that I might do because the other one is definitely super short.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So we are going to do the case. It actually takes place in Hawaii, and we're doing the case of
Aloha.
Aloha, bitch. Aloha. So this is Jonathan Fraser. He disappeared in 2016. And oh boy, the amount of bullshit going on in this case. So,
oh, you want to hear something cool?
Go ahead.
I went to Hawaii when I was about 15, I guess, and it was the first time I got laid.
Get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, because when you get off the plane, they put one of those flower leis on you. And I was like, we in it now. Sorry, that was just a terrible joke. You can continue.
Your mom is so proud. So proud.
She's not.
She might be. I would say let's get her on the podcast, but let's not get her on the podcast. I love her, but we're not going to put your mom through this.
I don't even think I've told her about it, just because the things I say is questionable. Can be.
Oh, God. Yeah, you're horrible all around. All right. So Jonathan Fraser was born May 11th of 1995, and he disappears July 30th of 2016. So he is 21 years old when he disappears. He, of course, is in Hawaii. I think he's on Oahu. I think that's the particular island that he's on. And he disappears from basically right outside his complex. And it's the Hawaii Kai complex. It is 6233 Keokea, I believe, place. And actually, it's in Honolulu. That's my bad. That's my bad. But there's a lot of just stupid shit that goes on. So he was in his vehicle. It was a 1994 gray 2-door Honda hatchback. It looked kind of black in the picture, but it was found abandoned, like less than a mile away from where he lived. He wasn't in it, obviously. And this was around, I think, the intersection of Summer Street and Julio Road. So this is 18 days later. Are you laughing at me?
I'm just having such a good time already with you pronouncing these words.
Oh, I looked some of these up, so that's actually how it's pronounced. Go fuck yourself. So, I don't know the full lay of the land. All I know is that they said it was about a mile from where his complex was, where the car was. 18 days of lapse at this point, and he's missing. So there's no physical clues, nothing since July 30th, and it was in the morning of July 30th of 2016 that he vanishes. So we're going to skip forward about, like, I don't know, 4 years. So last year, July 15th of 2020, Jonathan's best friend's father gets arrested for murder, racketeering, activity involving kidnapping, arson, robbery, as well as multiple other charges.
Well, that escalated quickly.
It did, and we're gonna rewind, but that's just like that's just something I leave you with.
So wait, is this one of the? Is this a solved one?
Yes and no.
Oh, cool.
Yes and no. We'll get to it. Let's put it this way: there isn't like a conviction yet.
Okay.
However, there's a lot of fucking evidence.
All right.
It's all really fucked up and
A lot of arrows pointing to this guy with a rap sheet.
Allegedly,
Allegedly.
you
Naturally.
know, innocent till proven guilty, which is sometimes bullshit, but whatever. That's the law. So apparently he and his girlfriend, Ashley Wong, they had gone to a vape shop. They had been just hanging out. Apparently she was also 4 months pregnant when he disappeared. But this, I don't know if they went that morning or what have you, but they had hung out recently, either the night before or early that morning before he vanished.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much to unpack with this case, even though it's kind of limited detail. So he goes missing July 30th of 2016. November of 2015, he's involved in a car accident with his best friend. So
wait, so he's been missing for a year?
No, he hasn't been missing for a year. He has a car accident in 2015. So this is about like November. So it's like 8 months before he vanishes. He's in a car accident.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I got those
confusing.
flipped. I was like, wait, what? Okay.
So there's a car accident, and it's kind of a pivotal point in this entire sequence, this entire story. Really wouldn't happen if not for this. So they're in the car accident. His best friend's name is Caleb Jordan Miskey Lee, and the accident takes place on Kaneohe. I think it's or in Kaneohe in Hawaii, and it's had been, I think, after some type of concert. I believe they had gone and they were coming home, and Jonathan was driving. Caleb was the passenger in the car.
Okay.
It's a little bit murky if that's the case, and you'll find out why. It looks like they both had severe injuries. There were 4 distinct scars that were on Jonathan's face after the accident. Caleb, however, had been pinned in the vehicle. He couldn't even get out. He had to be extracted. He was hospitalized for several months with critical injuries. And Caleb's girlfriend actually gave birth to their daughter, Nyla, during this whole thing while he's in the hospital. And this is Jonathan's friend.
Damn.
Yes. And then Caleb ended up dying. So he died from his injuries 4 months after this accident, and his daughter was about 3 months old at the time of. So she never got to know her dad. So that's super sad. It's just fucked up all around. And the community of Oahu, they're pretty tightly bound. You know, everyone kind of knows everyone. It's an island. There's only so far you can get away from each other. Everyone is pretty centralized. You're going to know everyone. So this is where we bring in Mike Miskey. As you can tell by the fact that it was Caleb Jordan Miskey Lee, this is Caleb's father. So Mike Miskey.
So wait, I'm sorry. Who was driving the car again?
That's up for debate. It's up for debate.
Okay, you did say that. That's what I thought.
Depending on who you ask, it was Jonathan.
Okay.
We'll get to it. So Mike Miskey, he is well known in Oahu, and that's not a good thing. So he owns a pest control business. He also formerly owned a nightclub as well. He's generally a violent person.
That's a weird jump in, like.
Yeah, the pest control guy in Kansas became the people control guy in Kansas, though. That's a jump.
Well, I mean, I would say that going from pest control to people control is less of a jump from nightclub owner to pest control.
No, you still gotta wrangle a bunch of shit. You still gotta, like, drunk people. No.
Yeah.
Like you
Okay.
were in
Yeah.
church a couple days ago.
It got a little out of hand. I could have used a handler.
Yeah. God, where was Sarah? So all around, Mike is a violent person. He also assaulted someone in his nightclub in 2012. There apparently had been like a gas release in the club, and I think it may have caught fire at one point. I might be mistaken on that, but there's just been a lot of weird fucking shit that has gone on.
I wonder if this guy was ever on Dog the Bounty Hunter.
I didn't even think about that actually. That didn't even come to mind at all when I researched this. We're gonna come back to you on that. We're gonna look that up. So obviously there's possible connections to local organized crime. And apparently Mike is kind of involved in the biggest corruption case in Hawaiian history because of the amount of shit that he is just fucking up left and right. So Mike Miskey is attempting to sue Jonathan for his son's death. However, Caleb was found pinned in the driver's seat of the car. You can't really...
Oh, okay, so hang on. You said there's debate as to whether who was driving.
Yes.
Depending on who you talk to.
Yeah.
But one of them was pinned in the driver's seat?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning towards that guy driving.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think so
Okay.
too. I think so too. But once again, it depends on who you ask. And also according to lawsuit stuff. You know what I mean? But who knows?
Okay. Yeah.
Who knows who was driving? It was probably Jonathan. Right? Like, I don't even fucking know. He was also wearing a seatbelt when he was pinned there. So it's not like someone could have sandwiched him in there. Not that they could have done that anyway, but he's also wearing a seatbelt there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just not like he was thrown there and then crunched there. Like he was already in that seat. It's so dumb. Okay. This is when now that we talked about the accident and the fact that Jonathan is missing, exactly 1 year after the first accident, so we're now at November 2016.
Okay.
Caleb has died at this point. Jonathan is missing. Mike Miskey is in an accident with Honolulu PD Sergeant Albert Lee. Lee was the one who had triggered Mike's arrest in December of 2015. So he gets into an accident with the person that caused him, well, he caused himself, but you know what I mean? But the person who arrested him, the officer, the sergeant.
Like he ran into the cop's car, or they were in a car together?
Oh, no. Like he ran into.
Okay, I gotcha.
This accident happened only hours before Sergeant Lee was to appear in court and testify about corruption in his department before a grand jury. So
that's a red flag.
Yeah, I think so. It was also the same day that apparently Jonathan and Caleb's accident had happened as well. So the timing of this whole thing is just, the fact that it's exactly 1 year is super, super annoying. And then, Mike gets in this accident. And then this happens. Honolulu prosecutor Catherine Kealoha, she is a very corrupt human being. She stepped in and protected Mike from any legal repercussions and consequences, and Mike fled the scene.
Huh.
Wait. Catherine was the prosecutor in Mike's court case, yet she's like, I see what you did there. Skedaddle. Get out of here.
I mean, maybe it's just going to be a lot of paperwork and she's not about it.
Maybe she's also involved in this whole shit show. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I just think it's really fucking suspect that it's like, okay, this guy's about to testify in court. You hit him. He's the one that got you arrested or arrested you. I am prosecuting you in court. But go ahead. Go ahead, leave.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's not making a whole lot of fucking sense. And it was from the December 2012 incident, the assault in the nightclub. That's the one that she was prosecuting him for.
Okay.
Not the whole thing with Jonathan, because obviously he's like a crime lord at this point, and he's just up to no fucking good all the time. Like, this is just his life. He's just constantly doing a bunch of like bad shit, constant poor decisions. And there's not a lot of detail to it, honestly. There's a little bit more, but not a lot has been established. But as I said, July of 2020, Mike and 10 other people get arrested. There are 22 counts on this indictment. As I said, there's racketeering for murder, kidnap, robbery. It included the murder of Jonathan Fraser. They do not have his body. They have never found his body. They've never found it. Mike Miskey reportedly, he had purchased a Boston whaler, which I thought was a gigantic boat because I know nothing about boats. So I envisioned like a naval ship type of situation, not quite that big, but like something pretty large, something you go whale watching on.
Yeah, what is it?
Simply because it said whaler. It's not. It's like a, I don't know, 21-foot boat, 30-foot boat at most.
Oh, but it's at least a boat.
It's a boat. It's a boat. This is a way less impressive boat than I thought. So
I'm curious. Let's see.
They're very expensive, though. I looked it up to try and gauge how large this boat was. They cost like $500,000 sometimes for a 30-foot boat.
Oh, it's a brand.
Oh, yeah. Boston Whaler is a brand. But like,
That's kind of dope looking boat, though.
I guess. Like, a no hate on them.
I mean, it's better than a fucking canoe.
I mean, it's got whale in the title, so I thought it was going to be a fucking gigantic boat. It's not.
Yeah, I was with you.
So, deceptive. Thank you. Anyway, he had purchased the boat to dump Jonathan's body into the ocean after the kidnap murder situation. And someone actually came forward, someone that was in this crime organization with Mike Miskey, and he said that he was offered, I don't know if it was, I can't remember if it was like $20,000 or if it was like $50,000. It was a lot of money to kill Jonathan Fraser because he was responsible for, you know, the accident that killed his son. And then this person declared that they never did it, but that they didn't notify anyone that he had been approached to kill Jonathan.
Why would you,
because he was involved in all the other crime, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're gonna hire a hitman, I feel like you want a professional. You don't want like amateur hour Johnny. You don't like, hey bud.
Who knows what this guy has done for him in the past that we don't.
Oh yeah, okay.
That we don't know about, but maybe that was just where he was like, this is an innocent kid. You know what I mean? He's 21, but like, he's not involved in our crime shit. Like, he's minding his own business. So right now we are kind of waiting for the court case to get the full conviction. I don't know if more is going to come up. It hasn't actually gone to court yet. It's just in process. So it's a whole thing, and it's very, very frustrating because Mike Miskey clearly is a suspicious fuck. There's so much going on with him, and the fact that he's hitting police sergeants, you know, the same day that person's supposed to testify, yet the prosecutor in a different case.
Just owning a nightclub is a red flag.
I mean, not everyone that has a nightclub is gonna like kill someone.
I feel like the majority of them will.
Like,
people that own nightclubs can't be trusted. I'm sure of it.
You're sure?
I'm sure of it.
You've done all this research and you're sure?
Yeah, I've never been to a nightclub, but that's because I don't support murderers.
Shut up! That's not why. You don't meet the height requirement.
You piece of shit. That's pretty funny though.
Oh, but on the fly, man. Okay, so that's the case of Jonathan Fraser. There's not a lot left to say about it. Obviously, if you know anything, definitely contact, the police. The FBI is actually involved in Hawaii with this case. It involves a lot of fucked up shit that has gone on. If you know anything about the case that I haven't mentioned, also you can DM us, Dear Friends Dead Ends Pod on Instagram. But it's just super sad. He never got to meet his child. His mom has been on the news a lot, just trying to get more help to find her son. At this point, she just wants whatever she can find of him. I mean, once somebody is in the ocean, it's really, really hard to
that's a wrap on that.
track them down. It's usually not good. It's rare that a body will come back to shore. It's pretty rare. I feel like those are, yeah. So that's that case. I don't know how far we are into it, so we can do your case if you want, or if you want me to do my other quick case, we can do that.
I mean, I don't feel like that was very long. If you want to do your other short case.
I can do the other one. It's also, this one is about a boy. So let me pull it up real quick. Actually, it blows my mind because I don't understand how these things happen. It makes me wonder about dimensional things. Like if we can cross over into other dimensions or other places and just vanish.
You have piqued my interest. Fucking hit me with it.
It's like, I'm trying to find the page, but it just doesn't make sense to me. This is the case of Bobby, I think it's Bizup. I could be wrong, but he was 10 years old when he vanished.
Mm-hmm.
This was August 15th of 1958. Once again, we are in Rocky Mountain National Park. Oh no, it was a Great Smoky Mountain. Just kidding. Different park.
We're at a different place at a different time. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, completely different. That's on my bad. Okay, so he attended a Catholic camping retreat at St. Malo.
That doesn't sound good already.
I'm just not a fan of camping, retreat, and Catholic in the same sentence. Especially after doing the Orlando case. Anytime I hear anything about just like Catholic and children, I just not about it. No offense to anyone who is Catholic. So this is in the 50s. It just makes me shudder. So this boy was introverted. He was partially deaf, so he didn't have a lot of friends. He kind of kept to himself because when he did talk, it was really hard to understand him. Usually only like his family and his parents could understand what he was saying. So he didn't really interact with a lot of people. He kind of kept to himself. He did like to do a lot of fishing while he was there. They had a lot of different activities they could do. So the spot that he went to was really popular. I think it was on Cabin Creek. There were plenty of counselors nearby. And then when it was time for dinner, Bobby and everyone else, they started heading back. And then one of the counselors got the boy to head back with him. And I'm already cringing when I'm reading the story. I'm already fucking cringing. So this is at 6 p.m. and they're walking and the counselor is leading the boy and the boy is behind him. And immediately I'm like, fucking why though? You're in charge of him. Shouldn't you be able to see him the whole time? Shouldn't he be in front of you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like not now, maybe it's like a time thing. More things have happened in the world, but I just feel like now we're like, you should fucking making sure you can see.
No, I mean, I feel like no matter what time you're in, if you're watching something, it's hard to do when you can't see it.
Yes, exactly. Child line of vision, like have him walk in front of you. Like what the fuck? Makes no sense. Either way. Yeah, I ranted on about that in my notes. So like you're in the woods, you're not in the city, but like make sure you can see him so he can't like run off, play games, hide or some shit. What did you think I was in?
I was like, Why do you have to specify that when you're in the woods, you're not in the city?
Because
I feel like that goes without saying.
yeah, but like it's
No, I understand what you're saying now.
make sure you can fucking see the children. Okay. Like, why would you have him in your blind spot? It just makes me so irritated. So at this point, the counselor eventually glances over their shoulder and Bobby has vanished. He's just gone. We don't know where he is. You can tell I'm really believing this person immediately. So he had been there just moments before, and this is also in the woods. So I'm thinking there has to be like rocks.
Is it like just those two though?
I think it's just them walking back together. I think maybe other people, and maybe because he is partially deaf, maybe he didn't hear that everyone else was heading back. So he was like, "Hey, buddy, you know, let's head back now. It's time to go for dinner." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then they,
Right.
back. So like he might not have noticed that other people had walked.
Yep.
So had walked away. So at this point, I'm like either some type of doppelganger demon and not Bobby is like taking part in this whole situation. He's vanished, or like dimensional shit. Like he could have just crossed into like a completely different time and place. Who fucking knows, right? So the counselor is obviously startled by the sudden loneliness he found himself in and thought for sure the boy was hiding. He immediately was like, "You fucker. You're behind a tree."
I appreciate that he's not like, "Oh no, I've lost this child." He's like, "I'm by myself. It's spooky."
I mean, that was my words. It was my embellishment.
Oh no.
Like if this was a Scooby-Doo episode, he'd be like, "Oh God,"
Right.
So he called out to Bobby and no response came forth. They did find the bait box from when he was, or the tackle box from when he was fishing. It was about a mile from the creek. And my question was it on the way back from the creek? Was it like he had just been leaving the creek though?
Right.
So he should have had it and the guy should have seen it also. And it's also probably hard to disappear with a tackle box also.
I feel like they're noisy, yeah.
Yeah, it makes noise. Like even if it's plastic though, typically if it's metal, it's gonna make a hell of a lot more noise, I think. So a bunch of dumb shit's going on. The police are
This is terrible, but you said the kid's like partially deaf.
yes.
So I just picture him like trying to sneak off the path and it's tackle box still making a ton of noise. And the guy's like, "Dude, no, I can hear that. Get over here."
No, but there's just lots of banging.
No, get over here. I can hear the tackle box.
Oh God, this poor kid. God. The police are called and then they find out he's not a mischievous little prick hiding behind a tree. He's legit missing. He's not like trying to play peekaboo or some shit. So a 9-day search follows. There's 400 police officers and volunteers that all come down. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people searching. When you think of 400 people all at one camp, it is a lot of people that are just out looking. And it's the most I think I've heard of so far in the cases that I've researched. And it included airmen from Denver and an Air Force base, because it takes place, I think, kind of in that area.
Mm-hmm.
They had aircrafts that they sent, bloodhounds. Not a scent could be found. Not one. They couldn't find any scent. So that's immediately like, what the fuck? How is there no scent? They search 16 square miles is what they search. That's a lot. That's a good amount. Because if you're square miles, that's 4 miles by 4 miles. If you're looking at like a block, it's still a lot of fucking ground to cover. And then there are some clues and some tips that come in. So someone reports that Bobby was seen by a doctor who had been on vacation in the area. This is 15 miles away from the camp in Estes Park. Not in Estes Park, that's just an area, at a hardware store.
Wait, the kid was at the hardware store?
Kid was at the hardware store and this doctor's on vacation. He was like, yeah, I think I saw the kid. He was at the hardware store. And then I think I saw him.
The fuck?
So he reports that. And everyone's like, okay. How'd the kid get there though? Like nobody, I don't think anybody really has a car there. Like they might have like a bus for the camp, maybe like one other car, but none of the cars were missing.
Not to mention, he's been lost in the woods for 9 days, and he's like, gotta go buy a new hammer.
No, I don't know exactly when he spotted the kid. I don't know if it was that same day or if it was within that 9 days. No one really says specifically. But yeah, it's just kind of like of all the places, like at a hardware store, the guy is like, yeah, no, for real. I saw him. Hardware store. Aisle 5. Check it out. But it's the 50s, so they don't have cameras for that. So
Right.
so much for that. Yeah, so it seems a little bit illogical. It doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And of course, detectives blow it off and they're like, oh, I did a Bush quote. I said, fool me once, shame on you. God, I should insert a clip of that speech.
Fool
Okay.
me twice. You
Fool me and can't get fooled again.
you can't fool me again.
Did I tell you they put that in an episode of Scooby-Doo?
No.
It was the best fucking thing in life. So for anyone that knows me, I'm a huge fan of Scooby-Doo. I love it. It's like a soothing thing for me. I just love watching it. It's in one of the newer shows from like the 2000s.
That's hilarious.
But Shaggy quotes him and it kills me every fucking time. Because I'm like,
That's
oh my
awesome.
God. They put Bush in there. It's just amazing. Okay. So there is some time that goes by. Almost an entire year has gone by and no one knows what happened to Bobby. No one knows where he is. June of 1959 comes around. They find some torn clothing, a broken hearing aid because he was partially deaf, and some bone fragments are found. They don't find a complete skeleton.
In the forest or in the hardware store?
I mean, that's like a fair question. It was in the woods, like in somewhere on the property. They are found on Mount Meeker, and this spot that he was found on, it's like 2,500 feet up in elevation and about
Jesus.
3 miles from the spot that he was last seen. So not only does he have to distance-wise go 3 miles, which isn't impossible, but you're also going 2,500 feet up a mountain. So, like, how did he get there?
Yeah, that's a bad look.
Like,
Like,
by himself?
how bad at navigating do you have to be like, I think my campsite's up this mountain?
Yeah. Okay, that was my other thing that I wrote. If you're ever lost in the woods, and if he was by himself and he traveled and that's where he wound up, it's just a tragic tale and it's just very sad. As a whole, just as a suggestion, if you notice that you are going up in elevation and where you came from is not up in elevation, you should probably go downhill. And
Yeah, if you didn't walk down a hill to get where you are, you don't have to walk up a hill to get back to where you were.
yeah. But we don't know how he got there thus far. So, but it's just not good. And there are 3 camp counselors from the retreat. They're the ones that find him. They found him in a ravine. He was with some heavy underbrush, so I'm not sure I don't know how many searches they did, honestly, but he's just in a ravine and it's extremely sad. And of course they are able to determine that is indeed Bobby. The area had been searched extensively, according to, the police had been there. There's 400 people. They definitely looked pretty thoroughly. So it's very strange that almost a year goes by and then all of a sudden there's bone fragments and, torn clothing and stuff like that. The fact that the clothing is torn kind of makes me think like animal,
I mean, it's possible, but also just like being panicked and like running through the woods, you can tear your shit on a
Yeah,
tree.
you're right. Yeah, running into like branches and stuff like that. Especially if you're running from a suspicious fuck, who knows? Or if you're just really manic and you're just terrified, especially if
Yeah.
it's dark and you're like, you want to fucking find your camp. Depending on what happened, like we're not really sure. Let me see. Oh yeah, that's it. It's my bad. That's really it. There's
All right,
not a
cool.
whole lot to it. They have no idea who did it. They don't know what could have caused it, but I do have a really weird fact. So Friday, August 13th of 1993, Pope John Paul II visited the retreat grounds. He was helicoptered in and spent 2 hours alone on the trail where Bobby was last seen.
Ew.
Yeah, it was like an International Day of Peace or some shit.
That's gross.
So he was there at the camp, and then he was like, yeah, no, leave me on this mountain for like 2 hours. He has some thinking to do. Some prayer.
That's not what I call it.
Yeah, I mean, like, shut up. Either way, it was a little bit fucking weird. So it's terribly sad what happened to Bobby, and I don't know that we'll ever get the full extent of all the details. But what I want to know is how long was that camp counselor thinking he was hiding and looking for him before he came back to camp and she like did a dinner to let people know that he was missing? Was there a lapse of time, or was it pretty much, you know what I mean? But
I don't.
Details are scarce. But I will say that Pope thing is fucking weird. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like if I was a camp counselor, one, it's definitely by court order. I'm not volunteering to do that.
Wow.
Two,
Okay.
I am
Court order.
I am rushing back to the camp
Yeah.
and being like, hey, this fucking kid is missing. I was not alone with him. I was not alone with him.
If he's shouting for him, can he hear him? Like how, like if he's partially deaf and he's shouting for him, like I'd be even more concerned, like, hey, I need more eyes because he can't hear us that well.
Yeah.
Also,
if anything, I'm establishing an alibi immediately. I'm getting back to that campsite and I'm being like, you guys see me. I don't have a kid. I wasn't with them alone.
I mean, I wouldn't introduce yourself that way because that's not going to go well. That's not
I was not alone with that kid.
yeah.
Sir, who are you?
The Bill Clinton approach. Oh, God. So, actually, there is a fact that you will fucking love. So, at this camp, activities included swimming, hiking, camping, and shooting rifles.
Oh, hell yeah.
They gave these kids rifles.
Yeah. I went to a Boy Scout camp and basically like the guidelines that you have to meet to handle a shotgun are, hey, did your parents say this was okay? Yep. Are you afraid of the gun? Nope. Here you go, little buddy. Like, that's there was just when I was at Boy Scout camp, there was just a dozen children with shotguns shooting into this field. Like, it's insane.
I definitely think that people should be able to own guns. Like, I think there's not, but I think maybe we should do like some assessments before we just hand them out. You know what I mean? Like
absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
have your guns, protection. Absolutely.
Guns are just fun, honestly.
Like, take this math test or something. Like, take this test, do something.
Yeah, I mean, but
what type of test?
I'm telling you, especially at summer camps. I mean, I'm sure it's different now, hopefully. But even when I was younger, they were just like, "Here, have this gun. Shoot those things over here." Like it was insane. how little preparation they gave us.
Jesus Christ. That's just insane. That's just, yes, those are my cases.
They tested you more to make sure you could go in the deep end of a pool than they tested you to be able to hold a shotgun. They were basically like, we don't want you to drown in this pool, but if you accidentally shoot one of these other kids, that's not on us.
Jesus Christ. Boy Scouts of America, man. Or is it just Scouts of America? I don't know.
I think it's just Scouts of America now. I don't know.
Yeah, because didn't they? Yeah, I don't want to get into it. Okay. So Ted Bundy.
Yeah, please.
Okay. All right. So this one is from initials DC, and it goes as such. Everyone knows Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but did you hear about the Oregon Chainsaw Massacre? It was set in Portland and featured a vegan killer named Leatherface.
But I hate that made me laugh.
God. Oh. And then I have another one. It was sent from one of our lure. I can't fucking function on any level at all. This is from Kristen. She discovered our podcast within the last couple weeks, I think, but she sent me a DM, or the podcast a DM, saying how much she loves us. She's so glad she found us, and she actually had a Ted Bundy, which is fucking amazing.
What was her name?
Kristen.
Thank you, Kristen. We need more people like you.
Yes, we do. Please find us more. So,
unless you're, okay, just real quick disclaimer. If it turns out that Kristen's actually a terrible person, we don't need more people like her.
You're also a terrible person.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I don't want to be like, Kristen, you're the best. And then next week, Kristen's on the news for, like, killing a dog and feeding it to babies or something.
What the fuck? How do these things come up in your mind? What is wrong with you?
No. It's just,
you said that off the top of your head. Killing a dog and feeding it to babies. Like, what the fuck?
it was something bad that I thought of. Like, you don't do that, obviously.
Like, really easily, though.
I don't know. It's just how my brain works. My brain does weird things. Let's hear Kristen's Ted Bundy.
Yeah, we need this. Okay, so what did Dahmer eat when he was on a budget? Ramen.
Oh, it took me a second to get there, but that's incredible.
For anyone who didn't get it, I'm going to break it down. Raw men.
Raw men.
Ramen.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you, Kristen.
I was like, oh, people named Raymond. That's fun. And then I realized.
People named Raymond.
Like, and hope you didn't kill a dog.
People named Raymond. Jesus Christ. All right, so that's what I have. It's your turn.
All right. This week, I am doing the unsolved murder of Cheri Josephine Bates.
I don't know if I know this one or not.
Me either. I don't know if you know about this.
Okay,
Cheri Josephine Bates was born February 4th, 1948, to Joseph and Irene Bates in Omaha, Nebraska. In 1957, they relocated to Riverside, California for her dad's work as a machinist. She was described as a sweet, outgoing girl by the people who knew her. In high school, she was a cheerleader, an honor student, and active in the student government. Okay? By 1966, she was living alone with her dad as her parents had divorced the previous year. She was working at a Riverside National Bank and had enrolled in Riverside City College, RCC for short. That comes up a lot.
Okay.
She had always dreamed of being a flight attendant, which...
I mean, they make money. They make money.
I know they make money. Do you need a college degree to be a flight attendant?
That I don't know, but obviously you have to do like some kind of extensive training.
Do you?
Like there is training involved, though.
There's a training involved for everything. I'm not like I'm not trying to shit on flight attendants, but I don't understand the correlation of going to college to be a flight attendant. I don't know.
Maybe you need like basic stuff, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. And she had saved up enough money working at the bank to buy her own car that she was incredibly proud of.
Yeah, get it.
She had, so in 1966, she actually had a 1960 lime green VW Bug.
Oh my God, beautiful.
Right? That sounds fucking killer.
Yes.
My,
God, the second you said like that's killer, I immediately imagined Ted Bundy poking his head out of his own VW Bug.
oh yeah, he loved a VW Bug.
Oh wow. I hope we get to see it.
Yeah, me too.
Not that we're glorifying it. I'm so sorry, but I want to see it though.
But I do want to see it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the morning of October 30th, 1966, Cheri and her dad went to church in the morning and then breakfast at a local restaurant.
Wait, they went to church and then breakfast?
Yeah.
I can't wait that long to eat.
Oh, no. Most often when you go to church, you wake up, you go to church, and then you go get breakfast.
No.
I don't agree with it either. But most
like
people...
for me, like church was like maybe 9 or 10.
I feel like in 1966 it started at like 4 in the morning. I have no information to
4 in the morning.
back up that claim, but that's what I assume.
Like
but yeah, no, I mean a lot of people do Sunday breakfast after church. So they did Sunday breakfast after church. Her dad went out for the day, leaving her at home alone. In the afternoon, she decided to I misspelled study. I put Studay, Studay.
Studay.
So she decided to go study at the library. Between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., before she had left, she actually spoke to both a friend inviting her to go study. The friend's name was Stephanie.
Wait, did she invite her to go study or study?
Study! Stephanie, let's go study! And a co-worker to see if she had left a sheet from her homework at the bank she worked for.
Okay.
The co-worker said the paper wasn't there, so she was like, I guess I have to start from scratch. Because of her easily identified car, it is confirmed by multiple people that they saw her driving to the library. And then her car was spotted at the library. But the thing about it is everyone that identified her car going to the library also said that behind her was like a bright bronze Oldsmobile. So she was seen in multiple parts of town and this car was always behind her. That's
creepy as fuck. This is
yeah.
You love when that happens because it gives you a lead and something to go on, but it's just also so fucking sketch.
Yeah. So again, multiple eyewitnesses confirmed that Cheri was at the library until closing time, which at that point was 9 p.m. Another female student from RCC. This blows my goddamn mind. So another student tells investigators later that she saw a man around 20 years old, about 6 feet tall, just staring at Cheri's car. Just hanging out, fucking staring at her car. And it was weird enough that they noticed this and then like went to walk by to like see if the person like snapped out of it or was just like complete like creepo zombie. And the person was just like, oh, hey, how you doing? And she was like, oh, I'm doing fine. And that made her feel confident enough that everything was okay. And she just kept walking.
Wait, Cheri did that or the girl did that?
The girl.
The girl did that. Okay.
The female student sees this dude staring at her car, walks by, says hello, blah, blah, blah. She keeps walking. So Cheri had actually...
guys are just awkward.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. So then Cheri had left a note taped to the fridge saying, Dad, went to RCC library. After speaking to the friend that she had called the previous day in the early morning, At 5:43 a.m., after being up all night, he called the police to file a missing persons report about his daughter. So he comes home. He's waiting for her to get home from studying. She never comes home. He stays up all night. So he calls Stephanie like first thing in the morning, which I guess was her best friend, and the girl that she had called the previous day.
Yeah.
And she was like, "No, Mr. Bates, she didn't stay at my house." And so as soon as he heard that, he calls the cops to file a missing persons report. He files the report at 5:43 a.m. At 6:28, she is no longer missing as a groundskeeper named I don't even know how to say this name, but I fucking love it. Cleophas? Cleophas? Cleophus.
I think it's Cleophas.
Cleophas Martin had found her body at the school.
At the school.
At the school. So what's that? Like just over 45 minutes between filing the missing persons report and finding out, having the body be found.
Arriving, getting started for the day.
Right. It was the groundskeeper. So he was coming in. It was Monday morning. He was, raking. What do groundskeepers do?
Raking? I mean, what time of year is it? I don't know if he's raking.
Oh, yeah. Hang on. No, it's October.
Okay.
Yeah, you rake all during October, I'm pretty sure.
All during. It's like
the whole time. That's all you have to do.
It's a K, if in case anyone's wondering. Rake fest.
Yeah, raking. Raking.
Yes.
So Cheri was found face down on the gravel walkway between two uninhabited houses close to the library parking lot.
Two uninhabited houses? What is this, Detroit?
It's what is this place called? Riverside?
I don't know anything about Riverside, California, but if anyone does, let us know.
Yeah, Riverside, California.
Okay.
Which apparently was like a nice, peaceful town until like shit went sideways. So she was in the same clothes that she had worn the day before. They were undisturbed other than being absolutely soaked in blood.
Oh.
So she had been kicked multiple times in the head.
God damn it.
She had been stabbed twice in her chest.
Mm-mm.
Her cheeks, hands, arms, and upper lip had been cut.
What had been what?
Had been cut.
Cut, okay.
Like
it sounded like you said a completely different word.
Oh, she was being slashed at. She had 3 deep cuts on her neck that severed her jugular and larynx to the point that her head was almost separated from her body.
Jesus fuck.
Having said that, even though she was only 5'3", she didn't go quietly. Looking over the crime scene and then eventually confirmed by the autopsy, she had put up like a hell of a fight. So they actually said there were many signs of a struggle. She had scratched her assailant's face and arms. She had skin, hair, and scalp fragments under her fingernails on her right hand.
Straight.
Yeah, they said the area surrounding her body, the fight was so intense that it looked like a freshly plowed field.
Wow.
Like she went off on this dude.
Who knows? One day that effort, like that we might find that person. You never know.
Yeah. The area surrounding her, I mean, it is
like
murder.
Or like a family member could bring it up and test DNA.
So the area, no. She wrestled the hell out of whoever killed her, as well as breaking off their watch, which was found about 10 feet away next to a boot print.
Damn straight.
So the boot print that was found was a very specific shoe that was only sold at military stores and was manufactured at a prison. So it was actually like the prisoners were put to work and it was sold to the military, which is kind of fucked up because that's like consumerism for, you're exploiting people that are
It's hard to say because they're prisoners, so you don't really want them to.
But prisoners for profits, that's not something that I'm on board with.
It's weird. It's murky.
So her VW Bug was a bit over 200 feet away and had been tampered with. The ignition wire had been pulled loose. The key was still in the ignition. There were greasy handprints that didn't belong to her or any of her relatives all over the car. And both windows were rolled down partially, and all of her school books were in the passenger seat. So what they immediately assumed was whoever was, trying to abduct her or murder her, it's likely that they sabotaged the car and then just hung out and waited until she couldn't start the car and then came up to offer assistance. Yeah. Let me help you. So no one was ever brought in. A month after the murder, Riverside police received a typed letter, detailing the murder exactly as they had suspected. So the letter includes details such as the ignition wire being pulled that weren't released to the public.
Interesting.
The author of the letter said that he wanted to make Cheri pay for her brush-offs in the years prior.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, this
fuck you.
Yeah, real.
Fuck you.
You're a real garbage shit.
Move on. There's plenty of women. Fuck you.
So he recounted exactly what happened. Said that he pulled the plug. She came over, started trying to start her car, and he came up and tried to be like the white knight piece of shit. So they couldn't get the car. So I guess he went under the hood and was quote unquote fixing things and was like, oh, well, I can't get the car started. So let's just go back to my car a little bit down the road and I'll give you a ride home. So and this is some real cringy shit. He said he led her away from the car, telling her that his car was down the road. Once further away from the car, he told her, it's about time. He said she went, about time for what? And he responded, about time for you to die.
He did not.
That's what the letter says. The letter's
dramatic fucking dick face.
Yeah, it's real cringy.
Really, you're gonna put some
I'm gonna write myself a badass one-liner.
He's sitting there scripting this shit in his basement or his mother's basement, just fucking I don't know what I'm gonna say.
So he said, about time for you to die. Yes. And then he covered her mouth and put the knife to her neck, took her further into the dark where he kicked and stabbed her to death. So that was, that would have been November 1966. Where's my cursor?
Oh, infuriating.
Oh, yeah. So in April 30th, 1967, the Press Enterprise, a printed paper at that time, printed an update on Bates' murder. Okay? The following day, Bates' father and the police both received a handwritten letter. The letter read, Bates had to die. There will be more. At the bottom, there was a written character. So he had, kind of signed it, I guess, at the bottom, but people were unable to read it. They thought, I know, they weren't able to decide if it was a 2 or a Z.
Could you imagine just sitting there and coming up with this for
and then they can't fucking read it?
Days, oh yes, no, this is the perfect design. They're gonna be so fucking terrifying. And people are like, is this a Z or is this a fucking 2? What is this shit?
So people thought it was a Z. You know what else starts with fucking Z?
Zebras.
The goddamn Zodiac Killer.
Which started when?
Actually right around this time. A little bit later than this.
Whoa.
So he was Zodiac Killer was late 60s to early 70s.
Also in California.
Yeah, and what, San Francisco, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so some people think it was the Zodiac killer. So having
Like his
said that,
beginnings.
they think it was the first murder from the Zodiac killer.
Oh, very intriguing.
At least the first known one, because he
Yeah.
claimed a lot of killings. But they think this is the first discovered one. So the evidence towards that is actually kind of compelling. So a desk that was in the library at the time of Cheri's murder ended up in storage through no one's fault. It was just they did a rearrangement of the library, and some of the desks got thrown in storage. Well, later on, a custodian noticed a fucked up poem carved in one of the desks, and he's like, these desks were there, right when that Cheri thing went down. So there is a guy named Paul Avery who I believe he worked for the LA Times, or he was a reporter in the area, the Bay Area, and he followed all of the Zodiac stuff.
Mm.
So the custodian finds this poem, sends it to Paul Avery, and then Paul Avery takes it to a handwriting suspect.
Mm.
So this is after the point that the Zodiac
Handwriting
is like
suspect?
expert. A handwriting expert. Paul Avery and a handwriting expert. So this is after the Zodiac is like well known.
Yeah.
Okay, they've received multiple letters from them. So the handwriting expert and Paul Avery, who investigated the murders linked to Zodiac, said that the letters the Zodiac had written, the letter that Cheri's dad had received, and the poem on the desk were all unquestionably written by the same person.
Shut up.
Comparing those three different types, those three different samples, they said, without a doubt, it was the same person that wrote this.
Oh,
Okay?
we need the Zodiac episode so bad.
Yeah. March 13th, 1971, the Zodiac killer wrote a letter to the LA Times, Los Angeles Times. He did not name Cheri Bates in particular, but he said he gives the police credit for, quote, said he gives the police, quote, credit for stumbling across my Riverside activities, but they are only finding the easy ones. There are a hell of a lot more down there. So he didn't say Cheri Bates,
Yeah.
but he's saying, like, I did some fucked up shit there too. And then so the MO for the Zodiac actually matches up with what happened to Cheri.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
typically it was like knife point and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I believe he would normally shoot the boyfriend in the
Yes.
car, and then he would like beat the hell out of and stab the girlfriend. Because he ended up targeting couples a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So that's really it. It's an unsolved case. It was this, like, Riverside was this sleepy little town, and Cheri's murder became known as the event that took the town's innocence.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So I did the poem that was on the desk. I did write that down.
Ooh.
It was titled "Sick of Living / Unwilling to Die."
But it's about time.
Hey, it read, cut, clean, if read, clean, blood spurting, dripping, spilling, all over her new dress. Oh well, it was red anyway. Life draining into an uncertain death. She won't die. This time someone will find her. Just wait till next time. Don't fucking poem snap me.
No. That's what you do at like a poetry reading. But no, that's some bullshit. That's just, your poem is fucking stupid, asshole.
So they did say that there was DNA evidence from her fingernails that did not match the DNA that they pulled off the letter that the dad received.
Mm.
But the handwriting was unquestionably matched.
So what if it wasn't him, but he did write the letter because he was an
That's what I was thinking.
egotistical
It's like
piece of shit?
he might have just written it. And I mean, like I said, that was his MO. And then the Zodiac Killer fucking loved toying with the media and the police and all that bullshit. So I mean, yeah, I just thought it was interesting that it potentially could be like his first murder.
Yeah, I mean, there's one, I don't know that we'll ever know, but it's very intriguing if so, because there's a lot of things pointing to maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Can't believe we're at episode 7. That's crazy.
It is.
Well, that is all we have for today. Thank you so much for listening. I would say that we love you guys, but apparently we don't love you guys. So
you can say you love them.
I love you guys. Cody's hard to get. Like he's filling it out first.
I'm coy.
He wants you to say it first.
Yeah, I want you guys to say it first. So you gotta kind of win me over. I'm not
with your ratings and your reviews.
Yes, with your and yeah, I need to feel special. I don't want to be just another one of those people that you listen to and then cast aside.
You were such a sociopath. So
why?
Because I know you're a sociopath. So what number of reviews / ratings do you need to feel? And don't throw up like a stupid ass number. What would make you feel secure in saying that you love our audience?
I think a good show of affection would be 69.
You're such a man. So dumb. So currently our goal is 15 reviews on Apple Podcasts. Cody would like 69 reviews on Apple Podcasts.
69, baby.
Yep, that's nice. So I don't even know where to go from that. Stupid. I can't. All right, so we're going to be on Twitch this Thursday. It's going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are going to attempt to do conspiracy theories from a blind bag. I'm going to blindly pick it out. We're going to discuss it. We're both going to be drinking a little bit. Probably nothing excessive, hopefully, because it didn't go so well last time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. But thank you so much for listening, guys, and we'll see you guys next week in episode 8.
Bye.